What up, Kryptonian Gaming back with another Division 2 build video, and today I got something mysterious, powerful, and a little dangerous. You ever wonder what would happen if you build a loadout entirely from named gear? No brand set bonuses, no fluff, just raw synergy, unique talents, and total mayhem. Well, wonder no more, because today I'm bringing you the He Who Must Not Be Named build. Yeah, you heard it right. I took some of the most iconic name pieces in the game, slapped them together, and what came out is a build that controls crowds, melts enemies, and feels straight up magical. This isn't just about damage, it's about status effects, synergy, and strategic dominance. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you like the video, share it with your squad, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss a drop. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Let's get into it. For my primary weapon, I got something spicy equipped, the exotic St. Elmo's engine assault rifle. And let me tell you, this thing is beast, especially when paired with this status heavy build. It comes with the exotic talent, Anthem EST or East, depending on how you pronounce it. And here's how it works. Every time you shoot an enemy, you gain 1 stack. Once you hit 100 stacks, your next full magazine is completely loaded with shock ammo, which means every bullet applies the shock status effect. Now combine that with the rest of this build, microwave coils, perfect creep and death, scanner pulse, and all the disruptive synergy you already got working. That shock ammo doesn't just stop one enemy, it spreads chaos. You're disabling enemies, frying electronics, and making it nearly impossible for them to retaliate. And because St. Elmo's engine has a massive mag capacity, you're stacking up fast and keeping the pressure constant. It's a gorgeous weapon visually and mechanically, fluid, aggressive, and built for dominance. This weapon isn't just a good fit, it's the perfect weapon for He Who Must Not Be Named. Now for my secondary weapon, I'm rocking the named assault rifle, test subject, and it fits this build like a glove. The talent on it is perfectly in sync and is one of the best hybrid talents in the game for a status effect driven setup like this. Here's how it works. Hitting an enemy with your weapon gives you 20% skill damage for 5 seconds. Using a non-shield skill or damaging an enemy with a skill gives you 20% weapon damage for 5 seconds. And when both buffs are active at the same time, boom, you're stacking 40% skill damage and 40% weapon damage simultaneously. This rifle isn't just a backup, it's a core part of the synergy. With your skills constantly triggering status effects and your weapon output staying aggressive, you're always activating both sides of the talent. It keeps you versatile, lethal, and ready to pressure enemies at any range. Before we get into the rest of the build, let me share my modifiers with you. I'm rocking Overdrive, and for my passives, it's Microwave Coils, Critical Recovery, and Critical Momentum. Together, these modifiers bring insane synergy, locking enemies down, recovering from fights, and keeping your skills constantly active. It's like flipping a switch and turning into an unstoppable force. Alright, let's get into the gear. And starting off strong with the exotic Coyote's Mask, one of the best team enhancing exotics in the game. The talent on this piece is Pack Instance, and it's all about rewarding you and your team based on your combat range. It dynamically adjusts the crit bonuses depending on how far your last hit was. Here's the breakdown. 0 to 15 meters, you and all allies get 25% critical hit damage. Great for close range engagements and aggressive push play styles. 15 to 25 meters, you get a balanced 10% critical hit chance and 10% critical hit damage. Perfect for mid-range control and flexibility. 25 plus meters, you get 25% critical hit chance. Ideal for long range support and sustained damage. It's a solid piece, not just for your own output, but also for boosting your team's effectiveness, no matter where they're positioned. In a build like He Who Must Not Be Named, where every piece serves a unique purpose, this mask earns a spot for both utility and power. Now, moving on to the backpack. I'm rocking the Name Courier backpack, and this thing is crucial to how this build spreads chaos. First off, one piece of this gear gives me 13% headshot damage, which adds a nice punch to my weapon output, especially when I'm landing precision shots mid-flight. But the real reason I'm using this piece is for its talent, Perfect Creep and Death. Here's how it works. Whenever you apply a status effect to an enemy, it automatically spreads that effect to all enemies within 10 meters of that target. The cooldown is just 10 seconds, so you can keep reapplying it constantly in combat. This backpack doesn't just enhance the build, It multiplies its effectiveness by turning every status trigger into an area of effect nightmare. Now let's talk about the chest piece. I'm rocking the name Henry from the Electric brand set, and this one got some slick synergy with the rest of the build. Just by equipping one piece of Electric, you get a 10% status effect bonus, which feeds perfectly into our status heavy playstyle. But what really makes this chest piece shine is its talent, Perfect Companion. Here's what it does. While you're within 10 meters of an ally or one of your skills, you get a flat 20% total weapon damage boost. And with this build, you're constantly deploying skills like Hive or Drone, so that buff is always active. Whether you're crowd controlling with blue screen, stacking creeping death triggers, or laying down pressure with test subject, you're getting an extra weapon damage baked into nearly every moment of combat. This chest piece is low-key one of the best decisions in the build. It keeps your offensive output consistent while reinforcing your hybrid playstyle. As for the gloves I'm running with, the Contractor's gloves from the Petrov Defense Group, and this piece is a straight up damage booster, especially when you're using an LMG. One piece of Petrov gives you 10% LMG damage, which directly amplifies your primary weapon's output. And the built-in attribute 8% damage to armor, that's huge. Most enemies you face, especially in higher difficulties, are armored, so this gives you a consistent edge in every encounter. These gloves may seem simple on the surface, but they're doing serious heavy lifting behind the scenes, buffing your weapon of choice while giving you the armor shred needed to drop enemies fast. In a build full of named gear and layered synergy, this is that raw, no-nonsense damage piece every aggressive setup needs. Now, rounding out the gear setup, let's talk about the holster. I'm rocking the named Picaros holster from the Brazos brand set, and this piece brings some underrated but essential utility to the build. One piece of Brazos gives you 10% skill haste, which is clutch for a hybrid setup like this. Your skills come back faster, letting you change status effects and activate your modifiers more consistently. What makes this holster even better is its built-in 15% weapon damage attribute. That's a huge bump to your base output, and it stacks beautifully with the other offensive buffs in the build. So while this holster might fly under the radar in other setups, in He Who Must Not Be Named, it plays a vital role, keeping your skill uptime high and weapon damage strong, ensuring your pressure never lets up. It's the perfect final piece to tie everything together. And last but definitely not least, let's talk about the knee pads. I'm running with the new Seska Turmoil knee pads, and these are straight up wild in this build. First off, one piece of Seska gives you 8% critical hit chance, which stacks perfectly with the crit bonuses from Coyote's Mask and help keep your weapon output consistent and deadly. When you deal weapon damage to an enemy, 50% of that damage is redirected to another enemy within 30 meters. This is huge for crowd control and multi-target engagements. You're essentially getting splash damage without needing explosives. Your shots are hitting twice, and it keeps the pressure up on clustered groups, even if you're only aiming at one. These knee pads are the final touch of brilliance on He Who Must Not Be Named, smart, synergized, and destructive. And there you have it, the full breakdown of He Who Must Not Be Named build, a full setup of named pieces, insane synergy between status effects, crowd control, and raw weapon damage. Between the St. Elmo's engine and perfect creeping death, spreading status like wildfire, and the scanner pulse lighting up the battlefield, you're locking down enemies before they even get a chance to react. This build isn't just powerful, it's pure unstoppable mayhem. It's built for chaos, dominance, and just straight up fun. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button, share with your squad, subscribe for more Division 2 builds, and hit that bell so you never miss when I drop more heat like this. This is Kryptonian Gaming, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay sharp.